I was a little bit unprepared for the level of scamminess that I was going to encounter as a Farang living here. Hello and welcome back to my silly little life. Sorry I've been gone for like over a month, but I actually moved, as you can see, 2 times, which is not fun and I don't recommend it, but I have been super busy just dealing with my own life shit, you know? So here I am settled in my new house. It is very green, so I will be painting that, and I did want to wait to record something until after I had started painting and getting rid of all this green, because it is casting quite the sickly hue on me, which is, you know, great. But unfortunately I just don't know when I'm going to be able to actually paint, so we're stuck with this for now. And double unfortunately, every single wall in this house is green. Like every single wall. This is not one room or just a main wall. No, it's all of them. Even if I were to hang up something behind me, the green light bounces off of every wall around me. Now moved in Thailand, oh lord, 4 times in the year that I've been here, because I moved into my terrible apartment where everything was broken. Moved back into the first apartment I had arrived in. Is going from the airport to my first apartment considered moving, because then it's 5. So I moved back into that first building, which I needed to get out of because I was being scammed, like straight up scammed on the electricity cost. So that's something I wanted to talk about, because I've now had quite the experience with landlords in Thailand, where 2 of them have tried to scam me out of extra money after moving out. And considering I've only had 2 landlords, you know, that's 2 for 2, which is crazy. And on this second one, when I move out, I did break my lease early, so I know they're going to be keeping my deposit. But they tried to coerce me into paying extra money when I was moving out, which I wasn't going to do because they'd been actually scamming me on the electricity. I know they were scamming me because I tested it. So I'm not just talking out of my ass. But unfortunately, the defamation laws in Thailand are extraordinarily strict. It doesn't matter if you say something true. If you hurt someone else's business, even if it's by saying a true fact, you can get charged with defamation here. And from what I understand, that is a potentially criminal charge. So I'm not going to be naming the places at all if I say anything negative. I did talk to a lawyer because they actually threatened me when I moved out, which was super terrifying. Let me back up a little bit. So this is the 4th place I have now lived in Bangkok in a year, and this is my first time trying to live in like a full house. It is an older Thai style house, which is a lot for me to get used to. I'm not gonna lie. The houses here compared to what I'm used to in Canada for construction are just what I would call very open to the world, in that there are just holes that go outside, and that's normal. My kitchen just has a hole through the wall where this giant fan is that I just keep on 24/7 because there's no bug netting or anything around this fan. So if you turn it off, just like whole ass animals could come into your kitchen, which, you know, I don't want that. There's also another drainage hole that is just a circular hole that goes straight through the wall outside, I guess in case of flooding, but it also has no netting or mesh or anything on it. There's just a lot of things that are very normal for a Thai house that I just have to get used to with living here, and that includes the volume of ants that are apparently just normal to find in your house, and the fact that they will find your food. They will find your food so fast. Every single thing I have that is food that is not fully sealed is in the fridge, because it has to be. I am going to have to invest in a whole bunch of sealed plastic containers, I think, for the future. And other aspects, like I don't have a bathtub anymore, and I'm very Western. I love my bath. That was my favorite part of my last apartment, is I had a bathtub in it. So now I only have 2 showers, which are both just that open style bathroom where it's like you just shower right beside the toilet, so the toilet gets soaked with water every time you shower, which is, you know, interesting. And only one of them has a heater. So one of my showers is just cold only, and it's colder than you would expect the water out of the pipes to be in Thailand. So, you know, there's things you have to get used to being in an older Thai style house, but I will eventually get there. It's just a learning curve right now. Even Mocha looks green on the camera from these green walls. Mocha, you the Hulk. Now, the place I was staying in right before this for 3 weeks was a short-term rental or long-term hotel, I guess you would call it. You cannot rent for less than 1 month, but it was just a single room, like very hotel style. It was as expensive for 1 month as this whole house is per month, both of which were half the price of my last apartment and a third of the price of my first apartment here. Weird hotel was unpleasant. The internet cut in and out quite a bit. My air conditioner broke my second day there in hot season, so that was great. And just sharing a tiny room with a dog and 3 cats and all of my other little critters and everything I own was a nightmare. And the area I was staying in was also super far from the BTS, not overly walkable or what I would consider to be a friendly, inviting neighborhood. So I just kind of was stuck in my dungeon for 3 weeks, which was not a fun time, with bad internet to boot. There was also just no privacy. The stray dogs came into the property, which was always open. I would hear dogs walking through the hallways in the middle of the night. There were ticks in the common area around the hotel that's supposed to be to take your pets. So it was just an experience, and I am quite happy to never repeat it, hopefully. But it is very hard in Thailand to find pet-friendly places, especially when you have a big dog. Really limited us on what we could get. Now, I am a little bummed to have moved out of my last apartment because I actually was comfortable there. It was a bit small for me and for all of us, but the area was really nice. The balcony was nice. My favorite coffee shop in walking distance. I really didn't mind my life there. But I was very fed up with being scammed on the electricity rate, which, as I mentioned, I did test them on because they were overcharging me. They were charging me 10 baht per kilowatt. In Thailand, it is illegal to charge above the government rate. There are some exceptions, but the exception only adds a couple extra baht that you are allowed to charge per unit. You're not just allowed to make up however much you want and charge whatever you want. I think the maximum allowed under the exceptions is about 6 baht per unit. I was being charged 10, and as someone coming here and just being told that, what that's going to equate to, I don't know how much that's going to be. I know how much I was paying with my last place where I paid directly to the electricity company, so I was paying the government rate. And then when I moved back into the other building, the first month I got my bill, it was what I would consider to be very fucking high. We're talking like $125 Canadian. And I thought, oh my God, okay, that's super expensive. I'm going to tone down my air conditioning use. I use my air conditioning a lot less, kept my patio and my windows open a lot more instead. And my bill magically went up to about $200 Canadian per month. And that's just straight up not possible. I am not draining more electricity. Doesn't make sense. So the next month I kept my air conditioning down again, and my bill was still super high. So by the 4th month I was like, nah, fuck it, I'm out, I'm moving, I'm not dealing with this. I had just went through hell with my other landlord. I wanted to save money anyway. I wasn't about to go through hell again with another scammy landlord that was pulling some shady shit. So that month I really cranked it up. I used my air conditioning all day, every day. I was like, let's see what happens. And when I moved out, I think, in my opinion, they were desperate to ensure that I paid this electricity bill, and since they were just pulling numbers out of their ass as to what my electricity bill was, suddenly it was a noticeable amount less than the month before. So somehow the month where I cranked both of my air conditioners all month, they dropped it from the month previous by about 600 baht when it should have been 2,000 baht more. So yeah, just something to be aware of, especially if you're a Farang in Thailand, because people will try to scam and take advantage of you. It is just a part of living here. Most Thai people will not. Most Thai people are lovely. Most Thai people don't scam anybody. They don't pull shit like that. But what can I say? Landlords are shady everywhere in the world. And this landlord did try to threaten me when I moved out. They didn't even give me a day. I was in the middle of moving out. I had not even completed my move yet, hadn't returned the keys, still had to go back for one more round, and they threatened me with the police if I didn't pay them. I think it was something around 9,500 baht extra that they wanted from me. And they actually threatened me and told me that, oh, well, your future visas are going to be in jeopardy for staying in Thailand if we go through with police action. So pay us immediately. Technically, I haven't even broken my lease yet. I could change my mind and just stay. I don't even owe them rent for another 5 days. What are you talking about? And they were spam calling me, so I'd already had to mute them because they just kept spam calling me over and over, and I'm busy moving. I had no time to answer these calls. And then when I checked later, before I had finished moving out, they were threatening me with the police. It was crazy. So I did reach out to a lawyer and just told him everything that had happened and sent him the screenshots. And he was like, they can't do anything, but you can absolutely indict them if you want. I don't want the drama, but thank you so much. I feel much better because obviously that spiked my anxiety. Like, what do you want? You're reporting me to the police for what? I don't even owe you any money. What? And the first landlord also tried to pull something super shady when I moved out of that building because obviously he kept my entire deposit, which was an obscene amount of money. It didn't matter that everything in that fucking condo was broken and not working. There was no way I was going to be able to get my deposit back, apparently. But I had also paid a separate deposit to the building for having pets, the pet fee. That had nothing to do with him. Zero to do with him whatsoever. I paid that directly to the building. The building deals with it. It's in case your pet does any damage to the building or bites someone or something. It's your liability fee. You get that back a month after moving out when they make sure that you don't owe anything for your pets. He tried to reach out to the building and get them to send it to him and like steal it out from under me. They were like, no, we can't do that. What are you talking about? That's not your money. And he was demanding it because I was moving out, which is wild considering deposits here are already generally 2 months rent. When you move into a home here and you're throwing down a year lease, you're generally dropping 3 months of that rent, which, you know, if you have a reasonably high-priced place, is not that much money. You can find an apartment for 3,000 baht per month in Bangkok, like $125 Canadian rent. Also, side note, I highly recommend using a company called Lala Move if you are doing any sort of moving in Thailand. They are so unbelievably affordable, it is ridiculous, and you can book them directly from their app. Awesome. My first couple moves around in Bangkok were so close to each other that I could walk from one building to the other. So I kind of just booked a few of the big size grabs to go back and forth, and it ended up being like unreasonably expensive. Versus Lala Move this time around when I moved to the weird hotel, which is a solid 45 minutes with a little bit of traffic for a truck and one load there, and they help you out too. It was 200 baht. Okay, that is $8 Canadian. That is unbelievably affordable. What do you mean I can hire a fucking moving truck with a helper for $8? What? Now moving from that weird little hotel over to this area was a lot more expensive because it's quite far. I spent about 600 baht for a truck with a big covered back area, and that was ideal because it was able to fit absolutely everything in one go. And versus the first truck, the 200 baht truck in the other area, I did have to leave 2 of the cats and some of the stuff and take a grab later in the day, which was not an issue, but those two together ended up being the same cost as taking the one truck across the city. It's like if there's traffic, you're looking at a couple hours. The one thing to keep in mind is these cover trucks are definitely not air conditioned, so you're not going to want to put your pets in the back. So I just wanted to do this video as a life update and to talk about my experiences with moving and landlords in Thailand, because they have been less than stellar so far. Although the landlord of this place seems like an absolute sweetheart. I'm very happy to have her. She is lovely. She's been going out of her way to provide me with things that she thinks I might need because obviously I've got nothing. I'm just a foreigner. But it is a little bit more secluded, and I'm definitely feeling that. I'm also coming up to a year of living in Thailand and having not been home and visited, you know, friends and family. I'm definitely feeling a little bit of that, like, secludedness. I'm like, maybe it's time to plan a trip home, but probably won't be able to afford that until next year. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. If you have any crazy stories about landlords and moving in Thailand, I'd love to hear it because I was a little bit unprepared for the level of scamminess that I was going to encounter as a Farang living here. And I do have a Thai partner who helps me with a lot now, and I think hopefully moving forward that will make my life a lot easier. Right, Jake? Got something to say? He's a man of many thoughts. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this little life update video. I will be back with regular content again now that I'm settled and have good internet and somewhere to actually edit and sit. See you next week. Thank you so much. Love you. Mwah, mwah, bye.